Hey boys and girls, Reagan and I are at our house, and I know that many of you are stuck at home, and I know you're probably missing your friends, and I am missing you, but I thought that today I would do a read aloud, and I'll just pretend that we're in our classroom on the carpet, and we're all sitting near my rocking chair, but Reagan doesn't get to join us. So Reagan's going to join us today, and we're actually going to read a book about Reagan. I got this book for Christmas, and it's called Reagan's Adventures in Petlandia. So you're going to see Reagan is the star, and then you might even hear about Miss Steinberg. Reagan lived in Pike Road, Alabama, and dreamt of being a star with her very own TV show and chauffeur-driven car. But being cute and furry made stardom rather tough, especially as the only words she knew were woof and rough. Feeling brave, she folded up her PJs and a flannel, along with some ideas for her Reagan You Chew channel. Fumbling in the darkness, she scrawled a doggy note, then kissed Sarah and Will and went to get her coat. Scampering through the moonlit streets with thoughts of being wealthy, Reagan stopped beside a sign and bought, "I'll take a selfie." Pulling out her eye bone, she posed and took a snap, then headed to the airport while squinting at her map. Reagan was excited because she'd never flown before, unless you count the time she slammed a laptop on her paw. And as the plane took off, she thought of her A-list hounds and mutts while trying to squish her nose into a teeny tiny bag of nuts. When Reagan got to Hollywolf, she set up several meets, but most of them went wrong because she tinkled on her seats. And even though she tried her best, the top dogs weren't impressed. "We've seen your act before, kid, and that looks like, and look at how you're dressed." With failure after failure, Reagan's confidence was shrinking, but then she saw a saxophone, which got her kind of thinking. "I need to learn some new tricks to really make me shine, and then I'll make some new videos and I'll post them all online." Reagan, they didn't like you in Hollywood. Meanwhile, back in Pike Road, Alabama, Sarah found a note. "My dog thinks she'll be famous. Oh, what a silly goat." But suddenly, Will looked up and saw Reagan on the news. She'd become an online superstar with 50 million views, playing that saxophone. "It seems dogs can learn new tricks," Sarah thought out loud, and Will started laughing. They both felt really proud. There was Reagan on a chat show, tootling away while teetering on a unicycle doing dog ballet. She's got secret tricks. Soon the world was going wild for Reagan's jolly tunes. You could even buy a storybook and see her in cartoons. She bought a doggy mansion and a limo and a yacht, and she'd even met the president and partied quite a lot. "You're so famous." Other doggies lined up to shake Reagan by the paw, and scripts for pet-based movies came tumbling through the door. She'd sit and count her money while lounging on her throne. But when she wasn't working, she'd often be alone. Because she felt so lonely, Reagan bought more stuff. But even though she had it all, it was never quite enough. She tried some doggy yoga, which she thought might make her happy, but it just tied her up in knots and made her sore and snappy. Then suddenly it hit her as she chewed on her oldest bone. What Reagan wanted most was to be snuggled back at home. Yes, she'd miss her fancy life, the palm trees, and her chauffeur, but none of that compared to cuddling Sarah on the sofa. "You miss me?" She called off all her concerts and she gave away her things, but all the flights home were fully booked, so she clung onto the wings. Hanging on for dear life as the plane took off to the skies made Reagan think of tummy rubs, and tears welled in her eyes. Soaring over Pike Road, Reagan thought, I had a hoot, but home is where the heart is, so I need a parachute. Fumbling in her suitcase, she found a sparkly gown, then used it as she leapt off to sort of slow her down. Tumbling through the fluffy clouds was really quite a rush, but Reagan had to slow down or soon she'd be doggy mush. Just then she saw mattresses dumped upon a roof, so she steered herself toward it and landed with a woof. Jumping into Will's arms, Reagan cried with joy. Then Sarah squeezed the squeaker in a squishy, squashy toy. Fame is pretty epic, but snuggling is the best, thought Reagan as she curled up to enjoy a well-earned rest. Miles away in Hollywolf, things were much the same, and countless pets arrived each day to search for wealth and fame. They often spoke about that dog who played the saxophone and how she left it all behind because she missed her home. But Reagan wasn't bothered that she'd given fame the shove, because her trip had taught her that what really counts is love. The end. So, boys and girls, I hope that you are having fun and coming up with some fun things to do around the house. Be on the lookout from Mom and Dad to get in touch with you through Blooms and Seesaw, and Reagan and I will make another video and read another book sometime soon.